Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So this video is going to be all about legendary dupes. What do we do with them in the game? How can we help Plarium come up with some ideas as to what's meant to be going on? Now, this is not a new issue. It's not a new conversation. But what I've done is I've thrown the question out to my Discord. So if anyone is not part of the Discord now, we've got something like 8,500 people involved. Basically, just get it up there as an ideas session over the last couple of days. What ideas have we got in the community that are going to help us with this problem? Hopefully, Plarium can take it to their kind of gaming committee and see if anything can be implemented and speed this along. Now, I guess I'm more of a whale than I've ever been because I've become a content creator. So before I was a content creator, I would be a bit thrifty with what packs I'd buy. I buy more packs now than I ever did because I want to do things like shard pulls for my Twitch streams. I want to show people new champions in terms of content. So my kind of spending changed, I guess. And now I am in a position that I've got a lot of dupes. This is kind of my working group of legendaries that are in my teams and that type of stuff. But I've got a vault now where we've got dupe here, dupe, 1, 2, 3, 4 astrolith. I think that's my only champion I can get a whole team of. But 3 dupe astroliths, 2 dupe Cupidus, a couple of dupe Mauleys, a dupe Errol, dupe Badel, dupe Foley now, dupe Shamrock. So I've got probably, I don't know, just calling it out, maybe 12, 13 dupe legendaries, maybe more than that actually. 6, 12, no, more than that. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 dupe legendaries in my vault. So it's a pressing issue for me, but I also know that I had a dupe Mashald way a long time ago before I was kind of overflowing with legendaries. And at the time, Mashald wasn't even worth anything anyway. But to have a dupe one was pretty harassing. And yeah, it was obviously something which, when you pull that legendary, you want it to be a new champion that's going to come into your team, and it clearly wasn't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through the 10 ideas. I'll just get something running in the background whilst we're doing it. The 10 ideas that the community have come up with. I'll give my view on whether I think they're feasible or not, and just run through them. What I'd like from you guys, though, is comments below. Which of these 10 do you think is the most feasible and, I guess, easiest to implement? Because we want it to be something that can be implemented sometime this year, not sometime in the next 10 years when everyone's kind of old and grey. So let's go with number 1. So number 1 from Sassy was replace. I actually quite like this one. So if there was a fusion that comes out and there's an epic you don't have for that fusion, allow for a dupe legendary to fill that epic slot. So if I think about this, in terms of feasibility, is it likely to be implemented? I don't think it would be kind of game changing in terms of unfair advantages. You're replacing a legendary champion for an epic, which feels like a pretty mediocre downgrade. But then that's going to enable you to get a new legendary fusion. So for me, it feels like it's a pretty fair trade. But yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts on this one. Is it OP? Does it mean that people are going to get fusions quicker? Yes, but I think those people probably would have got the fusion anyway, so I don't feel like it's going to put an imbalance in the game. Is it enough would be another question, but I don't think we're going to get too much more than that from this. So for me, that's a thumbs up. I think it's a reasonable shout, actually, Sassy. I think it's not a bad idea, and I don't think it creates a massive imbalance in the game. So let's go on to number 2 then. Number 2 came from Markma, I think it was. Fuse 3 dupes into a new one, and it has to become a non-dupe. Now, for me, I love the idea of this. If this was a fairly balanced game where, take me for example, I whale out more than I ever have done. I'm imbalanced compared to the rest of the community, or 99% of the community. So for me to just sort of say, well, you know what, I'm going to throw those 16 dupes that I've got into 5 new guaranteed legendaries, chances are I get those 1 or 2 that I really want. the Mountain Kings, the Duchess that I don't have, the Seafees, all those sort of guys. So I think it's probably too overpowered to guarantee a new legendary. So for me, I like the idea of fusing 3 into a new one. I don't think to guarantee a non-dupe after that is fair, albeit then probably people will say it's not strong enough. So for me, I'm not sure about that one, probably a no. Next one I quite like. So this is from TN Melee. Break down a legendary into 3 3 legendary books. So anyone, in fact, not even necessarily has to be a dupe. I think this should just be a thing. Break your legendary champion down into 3 legendary books for you to use as you see fit. That way you've kind of got a book solution, albeit it's a bit of a dodge. It's not the book solution we want, but there is some sort of solution there for a book, and there's also some sort of use for that dupe legendary you don't want. Also, if let's say you're free to play and you've pulled yourself a Candrafan, but you've also got a Martyr and you can't book that Martyr, it might be your choice to say, you know what, I'm just going to turn the Candrafan into books because he's a totally useless champion, and and get myself through it that way. So I actually like that idea. I think that's a good shout there, Melee. Next one then, I don't really like this one, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Wolf, Caleb, sell the legendary for silver. So it feels like to me, silver is in abundance in this game. If you're at that sort of level that you're getting dupe legendaries, I think you've probably already got enough silver, or you've got the access to getting silver. I think even if it was like 10 million silver, I think that's not enough of a solution for trading out your legendary. So for me, that one is not strong enough. But again, it's my opinion, guys. I'm not the be all and end all here. Let me know your opinions. Next one then from Caleb. Enhance a current champ further. So apparently they do this in Exo Heroes. I've not started playing it yet. But in Exo Heroes, you can give your champion like an extra plus 2% attack or defense or whatever. So it's like an enhancement to what the Great Hall already does, or what being in a certain level of arena already does, enhances your player stats. Now, to give a champion a consistent plus 2, 5, 10%, whatever it's going to be, seems to me that it's just going to promote even further this kind of pay to win environment, which I'm not a fan of. I like for there to be a level playing field with the champions that we've all got. So for me, that one, as I said, I've not played Exo Heroes, but for me, that system doesn't really work. Or not doesn't work. It's not the right answer. Not the right point. It doesn't suit the game. It promotes too much play to win. So I'd say I wouldn't like to see that. Maybe what I would like to see as an alternative to that, though, is you get a token, almost like or you get 10 tokens, I'm not sure, but it's almost like you get some food that you can eat before arena reset, and a champion gets 10% stronger for a period of time, like a 24-hour window maybe, or something like that. But I wouldn't want a kind of complete upgrade to a person that's going to be existing forever, because it will just promote overpowered people within the game. Next one then is once a month you can roll a legendary dupe, and you're just going to get a new legendary. Now, it doesn't have to be, this was for TN Melee again, doesn't have to be a brand new legendary every time. You just get a new legendary, and maybe it's a pick of 3, and you're lucky if you get one that you don't have the second time round. I like this once a month, so that it's not going to become like a whole new kind of legendary fest for somebody's account. But I don't think they'll go for 1-for-1. Personally, I think it would need to be at least 3-for-1. But I don't mind the idea of it. Kind of on the fence on that one. Next one, roll a guaranteed new legendary from Rocha, one of the mods in the guys. Apparently, they do this in Summoners Wars. They kind of have a once a month, not once a month. They can just go in and roll a new legendary, and it's like a blessed summon. So you're guaranteed another legendary roll, but it's not necessarily a new legendary. I like the idea of it. Again, it feels like it's pretty viable, similar to the previous one, really. So that one I think is fine, as long as it's not guaranteeing a brand new legendary every time. Now, I think there'll be a lot of people upset with that because there's a good chance you're not going to get a new legendary again, but I guess you can just roll it again next time. So next one is an auction house. So this is from Zol Farmer, an auction house type environment where you can go and trade your legendary with somebody else. I'm 99.9% sure they would never implement that in the game. They don't want people to trade champions between each other. It's not really in the image of the game. Also, you'll find that there's loads more alt accounts that are created just to become champion farms that they'll trade with themselves. When you've got an environment like this where it's online and there's an auction house in sort of setup, I just can't see they'd ever implement something like that. So although it's not a bad idea for a normal gamer, when you've got such a competitive environment like this type of game, I just can't see it would ever work. So it comes on then to my kind of top review, I guess. The one which I thought was best would be to introduce a new currency. So you almost sell that dupe legendary for a currency. I actually do this in Dragon Champions right now, which I like. So that you get a currency, and then that currency has got specific things in the shop. So there might be new legendary champions that only sit in that shop. And the only way you can redeem them is by having some of this currency. The only way you can buy them is by having this currency. I kind of love the idea. Or in that shop, potentially there's new legendary skins. So for anyone who plays League of Legends, you can get Hex Tech skins. They're kind of meant to be the most kind of like top tier skins in the game, hardest to get. So you get yourself a Hex Tech skin, which is only redeemable through Hex Tech gems, whatever it's called. And it doesn't change anything to the game other than aesthetics, which I love the idea of. I've said this a few times now. Aesthetics should be in this game because it's a very easy implementation and it doesn't kind of throw out the balance of the game. So you could go in and you could buy legendary skins for that champion, and maybe there's a legendary skin for every champion, and each dupe upgrades that champion for you if you choose to do it. Or there's maybe 3 legendary skins for each champion, and you use your dupes to gain that. Other idea for this shop could be books, platinum style gear, glyphs, anything really that you wanted to throw into the shop, which was quite difficult to obtain in the game, but doesn't throw off the balance of the game. So I really like the idea of a shop system, because then the user's got a bit more choice. And if you've got more choice, then it kind of creates different types of builds. I also like the idea in the shop of having something like a glyph or an enhancement that goes into jewelry items to change that style of jewelry. But that's probably pushing a bit too far. So, and what I mean by that is, perhaps having a ring that's got a bit of lifesteal, like a 1% lifesteal on it, or having an amulet that can do something like a chance to counterattack, something like that. So that's the kind of 10, guys. Let us know what you think. Is there anything which you guys have been in the community talking about that can help Plarium fix this problem? And maybe we can get something actually implemented this year. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you all soon.